Greetings, brothers and sisters. Yesterday's video, I shortchanged y'all because I was in such a hurry to make it for some of the brothers and sisters that were asking for it. I just wanted to show you these guys. No, these are not eels. These are called snake gobies. And the strange thing about them is that when they're young, they're very little and have a white line. They don't have this pattern here. And when they get older, that's when the pattern comes out. There were other fish that I had failed to mention, like these scarlet and yellow fish here called the royal grammars. I had failed to mention them also yesterday. There's also another fish called the flame hawkfish. Not as red as the flame angel, but I had failed to mention this fish yesterday. Here's the magnificent flame angel. I was in such a rush yesterday that I had failed to mention these other fish because I had about 25 to 30 brothers and sisters I knew who was saying, when are you going to put out another video of your aquarium? So I rushed it. Please forgive me. And no, the tank is not 6.5 feet high. It's 6 feet high. And I'm just 4 inches taller than the tank. That's a correction from yesterday. The basic science of this is that there's millions and millions of microbes in here that we cannot see. Our Heavenly Father created everything in perfect balance. It's man that destroys it. Trying to get some more color of that beautiful scarlet coral beauty angelfish. And I had failed to mention this guy too, the beautiful Johnny Sailfin Tang. I have failed to mention him also in yesterday's video. Please accept my apology. You can't do things in a rush. I realize that, because it's not going to work that way. Once again, these are the royal grammars. It's a mated pair. Once again, the Johnny Sailfin Tang. Notice how it opens its fins. It's wonderful looking. And the flame hawk. Nothing has come out yet that's nocturnal. My shrimps and everything are still not coming out. I don't think I can get a shot of them. I think if I go to the side here, I might can no, it's still very dark. He's in there. If you look real closely, you can see tentacles, but he's not coming out at the moment. And these guys here, the snake gobies, which are not eels, they're the only fish that can swim backwards just as good as they swim forward. It's amazing. And this was a conch shell that was given to me as a souvenir from one of my brothers. It was pure white, you know, like you get it from a souvenir shop. I cleaned it and I said, let me put it in my fish tank. And from one polyp attaching to it, this is the result. A whole conch shell full of coral. Next video I put out, I'll be showing y'all how we feed them and different things that I feed them. Here's a snail on top here, and if you notice on the side, there's a little baby one. Yes, my snail's been breeding in the tank, which is a good thing. That means that your aquarium is perfectly balanced. And all the pink stuff you see growing on the glass and on the back glass and on all the rocks, that's called coralline algae. That's another sign that your tank is perfectly balanced, because that doesn't grow if your tank is not perfectly balanced. And coralline algae is the building block of the reefs. It helps cement the rocks together. It helps them to take form so that corals can grow on them. Another marvelous creation by our Heavenly Father Jehovah. Everything in here, there's billions and billions of microbes in these rocks. And I also have about 50 to 100 nocturnal snails in the tank, in the sand, which when I feed them on the next video, you're going to see them come out. They're going to come out like you're going to see, wow, you're going to see the sand move. They are the cleaners that keep things clean. Oh, wait a minute, I'm thinking, he won't come out. I thought he was going to come out for us. That was my shrimp. If you look down in that hole, you would have saw some claws coming out, but he decided not to come out. But he will. The next time when I feed everybody, you'll be able to see everybody coming out. That's the snake goby. No, they are not eels. I've been telling people that, I think, 1,000 times, and they still saying eels. They are not eels. They are snake gobies. And they dig under the rocks and make little caves and stuff. There's the head there. They're about a foot long now. Some mated pair in there. But I want to apologize for yesterday's video. It wasn't correct. I didn't introduce everyone. There's a nice shot of them. Of one of them. See how he goes backwards inside his cave? He can swim backwards just like he can swim forward. Very, very beautiful specimens. And as I say, when they're little, They're tiny and they have a long white stripe. Once they get older, the stripes come out like this. Just wanted to make some corrections and apologize for things I didn't mention yesterday. Once again, this is the reddest fish in the ocean, the magnificent flame angel. I will be feeding the fish in the next video, so y'all can see the different vitamin formulas and different things that I feed them. I feed them things that have every essential element and vitamin that they find in the ocean. I also feed them mysis shrimp that's been gut loaded. Gut loaded means is that while they're alive, you feed them the necessary things in their body, so when the fish eat them, they'll be getting all the nutrients that they need. I didn't mention these guys here. These 3 polyps here. I've had these polyps, oh Lord, I can't even tell you how long I've had these guys. Probably about 40 years. Here's some more pulsing xenia. See how it moves? Next of it on this rock here is one of my saltwater snails. They're called asterine snails. And then you notice in the ocean that the ocean is constantly moving. That's to oxygenate everything. This is why we have these wave makers here in the back. If you notice, these wave makers here, they keep the water moving. So in essence, the water is circulating about 8,000 to 9,000 gallons per hour. That's how much circulation is in this tank. So it's just as much circulation as they are seeing in the ocean. Pulsing xenia. Beautiful scarlet, leather purple coral, and pulsing xenia on this conch shell. As I said, I'll be happy to help anyone establish an aquarium. It doesn't have to be huge. I mean, if I was younger now, I would be going bigger. You know, there's a friend of mine who has a 1,000-gallon fish tank, and his is just absolutely out of this world. And as I said, you know, the many tours I go on, and as being a professional singer, if this thing was hard to keep, I wouldn't keep it. And I'm not paying anybody to take care of my aquarium. That's not being a hobbyist. If you're paying somebody to come along and clean your tank and stuff. And I don't clean this tank. I have thousands of things in the sand that clean the tank. As I said, I only change 20 gallons a month of salt water to replace the trace elements and minerals and everything that the corals need. And no, you can't put table salt in there. No, you have to get salt that's specially formulated to have every element that's in the sea and the ocean in it. That's what keeps everything thriving. And you have to have it at the proper salinity, not too low, not too high. You just got to do things right. And as I say, I have an obligation to take care of these animals if I'm going to have them in my tank because they're under my care. And these are not little $2 goldfish and $1 guppies and platies and stuff like that from the freshwater community. A lot of these fish cost $200 and $300. So nobody's going to be investing in a fish that's going to be dead in a day from not educating themselves. That I'm not doing that. There are some species of fish that they have to dive really deep for that they cost $2,000 and $3,000. But I'm not spending $2,000 and $3,000 on a fish when I have brothers and sisters in need of food and everything else. I mean, that's just not being practical. And it's not being loving neither. I'll get that fish in a new system, in a new world. Everything we do, we have to do with the purpose in mind that it's all a responsibility for us to take care of things that were created for our enjoyment. Not buying something and putting it in a little jar and putting it in a little bowl. And when that cartoon came out, Finding Nemo, there were so many of these poor clownfish who died. Parents were putting them in fresh water. These are not freshwater fish. They died in a matter of hours. They were putting them in little goldfish bowls. These fish cannot live in goldfish bowls. These are fish from the ocean. Once again, I just wanted to give an apology for misrepresenting yesterday. I can't talk as good as I sing, so forgive me. But this is what's happening here. I think I have introduced everyone. I don't know if I introduced this guy, the velvet rash, yesterday. I'm not sure. But this is just another update with correct information. I know I introduced you to the beautiful powder blue, that if you don't acclimate them properly, you can forget it. He's gone. But once they're acclimated and they strong, you got it going on. He was about, I say about $160. So don't waste money on things that you're not going to be willing to take care of properly. You know, none of us have money to blow that way where you're just going to be throwing money away. No, and remember to take responsibility for these animals. They're under our care. So we have to do things accordingly for them. You know, we have to look out for them. Next time I do a video, it might be some of my recordings or some other type of music in the back because it'll be a more soothing video. I just wanted to clarify a few mistakes I had made yesterday. because I was getting so many inboxes. Where's the fish tank? Where's the fish tank? Put another video up. So I said, oh man, let me put one up real quick. But if it's not right, it's misinformation. I know I introduced y'all to the Bengal cardinal fish and the yellow tang and the fox face and the Nassau tang and the blue Caribbean tang, which when he gets older he'll become a beautiful navy blue velvet look. It's magnificent. The ruby head wrasse, so that's about it for today. I hope you are enjoying this, and once again, it is not hard to keep. Once everything is established and becomes an ecosystem like this, I can go away on a tour with the band for about a week and come back, and they will find food in here because it's things that grow in here. There's microscopic copepods and amphipods that grow in here. So even if I'm not feeding them, they can find food. But I don't want them to eat up all the microscopic food in here because it helps keep the tank balanced. So that's why you feed them also. Hope you enjoyed this video. This was a brief clarification. And I'll talk to you, brothers and sisters, very, very soon. Take it easy.